It started at Jenna's house late on a Friday night, during a sleepover that had already gone on way longer than anyone planned. They had finished the movie, finished the snacks, and reached that part of the night where nobody wanted to sleep. But nobody had anything smart left to do either. So they stayed in Jenna's room, half talking, half staring at their phones, waiting for somebody to come up with one last thing to make the night interesting. Mia was the one who said it first. Bloody Mary. Tyler laughed immediately, like it was the dumbest thing he had heard all night. Chris laughed too, but his laugh didn't sound nearly as sure. Jenna didn't laugh at all. Instead, Jenna just sat there for a second thinking. Then she reached for her phone, picked it up, turned it in her hand, and looked at the others like she had just thought of something better. What if we don't use a mirror? Nobody answered right away. Then Jenna tapped the screen, switched on the front camera, and held the phone up so the glow lit all four of their faces. Just use the phone. That was the moment the room changed. A second earlier, it had still been a joke. Now it felt like a dare nobody wanted to back down from. Tyler shrugged first, like he was too cool to care either way. And because nobody wanted to be the one who stayed behind, all four of them got up together. As they walked out of Jenna's room, the house felt completely normal. Jenna reached the bathroom first, wrapped her hand around the knob, and pushed the door open. Inside, everything looked fine. Clean sink, wide mirror, bright light over the top. So they stepped inside together. Jenna stood in front with the phone. Then Jenna lifted the phone higher, checked the screen, and made sure all four of them were in frame. For a few seconds, nothing happened. The screen showed exactly what it should have shown. 4 people. 1 bathroom. 1 mirror in the background. Then Jenna looked into the screen, took a breath, and said it once. Bloody Mary. Still nothing. She said it again. Bloody Mary. This time, the overhead light flickered. That one flicker was enough to wipe the smiles off everybody's faces. Mia looked at Jenna like maybe this had already gone far enough. But Jenna had come this far, and now she wanted to know what would happen if she finished it. So she tightened her grip on the phone and said the name a 3rd time. Bloody Mary. A small ripple moved across the image, like the reflection inside the phone had gone soft for half a second. Mia looked up at the real mirror. Everything there was normal. Then she looked back down at the phone and knew it wasn't. Mia blinked once. The real mirror copied her instantly. The phone didn't. Her reflection on the screen kept staring for just a little too long, and then blinked after. She blinked again on purpose. Same thing. That was when Mia stepped back from the sink, and the joke officially died. Tyler leaned in closer, like he still wanted to prove there was some normal explanation for it. Then he froze. On the phone, his reflection was smiling. Tyler touched his own mouth immediately, but his real face was completely straight. Nobody had to say anything after that. Now all 4 of them were scared. Then Jenna lifted the phone a little higher, and something appeared behind them on the screen. A shape. Tall. Still. Too dark to make out clearly. The longer they stared, the more detail the screen gave them. A face started to show through the darkness. Pale skin. Dark eyes. Hair hanging down around the sides. No one in that room said the name again. No one had to. Whatever was inside that phone, it had already answered. At the same time, Jenna's hand started shaking so badly she couldn't hold the phone steady anymore. The phone slipped out of her grip, hit the edge of the sink, and crashed onto the floor. The screen cracked, but it stayed on. And from that angle, looking up from the ground, the image got even worse. There were no longer 4 figures on the screen. There were 5. Then the light above them burst. Glass popped overhead. The room dropped into darkness. For 1 second, the only light left was the cracked phone on the floor. Jenna bent down toward the phone, and that was when the face on the screen rushed forward all at once. She screamed. The phone went black. That finally broke everybody. Chris stepped back from the door, drove his shoulder into it, and hit it hard. Then the lock snapped. The door flew open, and the 4 of them ran. They didn't stop until they were outside in the yard. By then, the house looked normal again. Clean, quiet, almost peaceful. For a second, that made everything feel even worse. Because nothing about the outside of that house looked like a place where something impossible had just happened. Then Chris looked up first, and the others followed. There was someone standing in the bathroom window. Then slowly, it raised one hand and waved. Nobody waved back. Nobody even moved. Because even from the yard, something about that slow little motion felt wrong. Then the light inside the bathroom shifted. And what they saw after that made all 4 of them freeze. The skin looked blackened, like it had been burned until the face was almost gone. And because of that, none of them could tell who they were looking at. They counted without even meaning to. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 of them were standing in the yard. So who was hanging in that window? Nobody answered. Nobody could. Because the body was too damaged, too burned, too dark to identify. Not when the bathroom door locked. Not even when the body appeared in the window. It happened right here, out in the yard, when each of them started looking at the others and wondering the same thing. If that body was one of them, then one of the people standing here wasn't. That was when it finally made sense. It hadn't come through the mirror. It came through the phone. And the moment the screen changed, it didn't just show them something. It learned them. It copied them. And now one of them hadn't made it out of that bathroom at all. The worst part was, none of them knew which one. Because something that looked exactly like one of them was already standing in that yard, listening, breathing, and waiting for the others to trust it.